Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. It's the FEIYUE model Eagle Desert 7 or Desert Eagle 7. Not sure which way it goes, but 1/12 scale racing truck. This is going to be fun. We're going to do a full review on this, unbox it, set it up, take it out in my backyard area, on the street, curbs, grass, rocks, and like I normally do, and see how this thing does. But this is similar to something like you may have seen my review on the A-Cross, rock racer types of trucks. Super fun. Very cheap and affordable, 4x4. This one's got a bunch of hop-ups. This is going to be a full review. Stay tuned, and let's get started. Okay, so it's boasting quite a bit of features on the box here. We have ball bearings, 1/12 scale, 4-wheel drive. It's 7.4 volt lithium ion. Digital proportional control, 2.4 gigahertz, and electric motor. Not sure if it's going to be brushless. I think this is just brushed. Interesting shock design. I'm not sure if these are going to be oil filled. We'll have to check on that. All metal differentials, and it's got universal shafts throughout. Speed changer. Interesting. Not sure if that's an upgrade or it comes stock. Anyways, without further ado, we got a green model and the red model here. Looks like I may have the red model. Let's pull open the top and see what we get. Okay, looks like we have a box on top with a controller in it. Let's pull out the truck first and then see what it looks like on the controller and stuff. So, a couple of pieces of styrofoam. There's the truck nestled down in there. Looks like it's kind of tie wrapped to this bottom cardboard. And the only other thing in the box is the instruction manual, and this is great because it looks like they're giving us some extra pinion gears for different gearing, Allen wrenches, grub screw, and our wheel nut wrench. Here's the controller. Look at that. It's just a regular pistol grip controller. You know, these ones that are more affordable, these trucks, they're not very amazingly awesome controllers, but wow, cool. So we have a left hand or a right hand option. That's definitely cool. See how that pushes through. So if you're left or right handed, you can switch that easily. A rate change there of our throttle, steering trim, power off and on switch, and reversing the servo here. So that's about it. Let's see what it is for batteries. 4 AA batteries in the bottom there. And this is a nice foam grip here on the wheel. This feels very good in the hand. So anyway, that's the controller. And the only other thing that came out of the box here was a Euro China charger. So I'm gonna have to use an adapter here, or if you have your own hobby charger, you don't even have to use this. And it looks like this is the 2S portion that's gonna charge the battery. Whoa, I don't wanna ruin our controller. There, nice and easy. 2 zip ties, cutting those, and look at this guy. So this truck looks really nice and aggressive. It's a little bit of a different aggressive stance with bigger wheels than their other one. You may have seen me review their last version of this, just the Desert Eagle, the first one. But check this guy out. So we have a full-fledged spare tire on the back. It's a real tire. These do have foam inside of them. They are operational beadlock rims. They're all plastic, of course, but they are real beadlocks. I can feel them clamping together there on the back. So pretty awesome what you're getting for the price here. Film on your body. So check this out. We can take this off and it really preserves that nice and shiny Lexan. If you do want to leave it on, you can. I like taking these off just because. But if you're anticipating doing a lot of bashing with it, maybe leave this plastic on and it will save your panels a little bit. But just look at how nice and shiny that gets once we take off this plastic. It's looking really good. There are no lights in this, but it looks like there are holes in the back. So if you did want to put a light kit, really easy to put a light kit there on the back, and also in the front there's 2 holes for lights, or actually 4 holes rather. Cool design here. A little bit of a hood scoop here on the top. These are that really aggressive look, and I really like the fenders, how they flare out like this. This is really looking dune buggy, desert race-ish. So really impressed so far with this design. Look at those tires, man. Those are great. So it's saying 38 times 22 times 55. I assume that's in millimeter. And you can hear they're air filled with the foam inside, so they're going to breathe really easily. I do like the red anodized plastic with the chrome middle rims. There's our lock nuts there. which they give us the wrench for, so that's good. We have a nice bumper on the front. In the back, a nice roll cage. I really like this design. The bars do have kind of this cool shape to them. Contoured shape. It makes it look really sporty and cool looking. Checking out the inside, we can see we have one driver. It's just all black, the helmet. And there's our on-off switch, so that's great. Really handy right there. Don't have to worry about reaching under and turning it off or on. It looks like there's like 6 or more screws holding this whole roll cage on, so I'm not going to take that off. And I guess that's why they let you see the opened view on the box. They had that graphic, remember? It showed us the internals and how all that looked. But let's just check out the articulation on the suspension. So yeah, you know what? These are not oil-filled shocks, so that's too bad, man. If they would have just went the extra mile and put little seals and oil in there, that would have made this thing so much better. So these are just spring shocks. It does seem like you'd be able to possibly put some oil in there. It does feel very smooth in the shocks, and I am seeing anodized aluminum tops on the shocks there. If you look down in there, you can see that red anodized aluminum. So maybe just add some seals, or maybe just add some oil. Anyway, here's the bottom. We got our axles here with the differential. And the cool thing is this is all ball bearing at least. So there's our telescoping drive shaft there. You can see the action of it. As the suspension goes, it telescopes in and out a little bit. And the articulation is really good. Look at that articulation. So it's looking great. So the front are those lay down type of shocks, like those cantilevered shocks. So you're not going to see the shock here. They're actually laying across the front there with this cantilever design here. Looks like it's going to work pretty good articulation. So there we go. So there's the bounce of non-oil filled shocks. So if these were oil filled, it would basically be doing this. It would be going down and then up and stopping. It wouldn't be bouncing. But since they're not oil filled, you get that kind of amateurish bounce. But that usually comes with the territory if it's not a expensive truck. Here's our bar for our battery. We just take out one body clip and the whole battery comes out. Speaking of the battery, let's check out what it is here. So it's a 1500 milliamp, 7.4 volt lithium ion, not lithium polymer. For some reason I thought it was a lithium polymer, but these ones usually comes with these type of batteries. They do very well. If you wanted to, go ahead and put a lithium polymer in there at the same voltage and it should do just fine. We got Dean's connectors and there's our balance plug for charging. Super simple, it's just a slot you push the forks into and then just push the top of the battery holder in, and there you go. Put your body clip in. That battery's ready to plug in and go. Cool guys, well the truck looks really fun. I really like how they're getting the tires a little larger. Hopefully the transmission and all the gearing will hold up, but we are going to put that through the test in our run test right now outside. We're going to bash it through some curbs, rocks, road, grass, full throttle it. So let's get out there and bash this thing and have some fun. Okay guys, so out here with the Desert Eagle 7, and you know what? I've already given it a full battery of runtime bash. This is the second battery because I'm trying a new GoPro setup on my hat cam. Oh, I was trying one and I had no audio recording on the first run. I found out after the fact. So this will give you a good demonstration of how it's going to be on 2 full batteries, and I didn't hold back in that first bash. I bashed it as hard as I normally do. So this is going to be the second battery of a full-on bash on this guy. Let's see how it does. Of course, turn it on and turn on the controller. Immediately bound up, so it should have kind of all my settings I already had on the first run. Just want to make sure everything's good to go and we're tracking straight. We got fully charged batteries and everything. So go ahead and give it a full throttle run from just a standstill. That was full throttle. And no wheelies with this one. You get some lift up on the front right because of the torque of the motors. And you're going to see it flip a lot. This one has such a high center of gravity that it is going to flip quite a bit. And you can see that it has that springy suspension because there is no oil in the shocks. So anyway, that's the full throttle there. That's what we can expect. And remember, they do give you 2 more pinion gears in the box, so you can change the gearing if you want. It seems like out of the box here, it's geared for kind of a mid to high end, maybe a mid power. Just because, let's see how it does in some rocks. It's definitely going to fly over the rocks, no problem. So very similar to something like the A-Cross. I don't know if you remember the A-Cross or the Eagle 6. I also did a review on the Eagle 6, I believe. And this one just looks a little bit more aggressive. It's got a little bit bigger tires. And I really like how this one looks. It's performing very well. Keep in mind I did already do one full bash just like this. Repeated jumps and smashing into rocks. And so let's see if anything breaks in this one. So it is going to hang up on, you know, the pumpkins and the rocks, just on the big ones. And it does, this one seems to flip rather easy. Let's see if it can get over a curb. I definitely don't want to, you know, destroy the transmission, but I already did this on the first battery and it seemed to do okay. So I'm going to do it again on the second one. So to get over curbs with this one, you have to kind of pop it up and then give it full throttle. You can't just go super slow and crawl. So you have to kind of pop it up like that. Let's try that again. You want to get the front up. Yeah, so might have a little bit of difficulty getting up curbs, and that right there, what I'm doing, is really dangerous because you can really ruin transmissions and differentials by doing that. So I did get up one time on the previous battery, but it looks like this time I'm not really going to be successful getting up. Well, that was interesting. So I had some slippage. It felt like maybe the slipper clutch was slipping a little bit. It does have an internal slipper clutch as far as what the ooh, that was a gnarly one. As far as what the instruction manual says, it does have an internal slipper clutch, which is going to hopefully help prevent stripping of the gears and stuff. And it looks like I just hit that slipper clutch there. But so far so good. I want you guys to hear what it does when you brake really hard. It does some clicking, so it might be something to be wary of. You hear that? So there's some kind of clicking or stripping going on when it's braking, but maybe that's just the sound of the slipper clutch or something. I don't know. Ooh. That was weird. I didn't really want to brake too good. You see that? So apparently something engaged. And I don't know what that was. That's just reversing the steering servo. This little button on top. But I kind of felt like the slipper clutch or something was engaging. I'm not sure. Anyways, we're just going to continue on with this second battery bash and just see if anything breaks. So no problem going down curbs. Again, a little bit too low in the tire size to really go up curbs. But just bashing and launching, it seems to be having no trouble with these bashes and just launching in the subdivision. Nice. Go up and around here. Full throttle coming down. Oh, I saw something fall off. Yeah, so I lost another light cap. So these light caps are going to fall off if you really bash hard like that. And that's kind of infamous for the other versions of this too, and the A-Cross and all those. Just these little light covers. You can see I lost one already in the first battery. So if you don't want these to come off, maybe super glue them on if you're not going to put any lights in there. Or even if you are, just go ahead and super glue those on so they don't come off, because those will come off. I'm just going to keep bashing it around with this whole battery. See if anything kind of strips or malfunctions. See that little stripping sound on braking, but nothing yet on acceleration, which is interesting. Full throttle down this curb. No problem, it just soaks it right up. Nice and easy. Let's try a little bit of a rock race crawling here on these rocks. See how we can do. Okay, so this is where you may want to go down with the lower tooth spur gear or the pinion gear, so you can get a little bit lower torque. So you see how I'm getting hung up on these rocks until it you know, gets a certain RPM. Whoa, nice. So it does very, very well. Let's try to get up this curb. Oh, not quite. This is where you really want to be careful. Yeah, that's where you can break gears. I don't think I broke any, but I was hearing some clicking there. So there's the top heaviness of this one. You know, you turn too hard, these tires are really sticky, and you will flip, especially on grass or pavement. See, like that? And it doesn't seem to have a really good ability to roll back on its side, on its wheels. Just because it has kind of like a high midsection, and the wheels are so wide that when it gets over, it's just kind of stuck on the top. Especially with this light bar being flat too. Anyway, continuing to bash. Full throttle. Oh! Okay, that was right into that rock. And everything's fine. That was directly in front. Okay, so there's the braking strippage. I have no idea what that's from at all. It doesn't seem to affect the forward power at all. Just the braking. Let's try to hear that again. Little click if you're going slow, but if you're going really fast or hit a hard reverse, tiny strip. Full throttle, braking. Yeah, just a little bit of clicking, but nothing on hard acceleration. That's great. Okay. Full throttle, boom. So it's not going to give you like brushless. This is not brushless apparently, this version I got here. I don't think. So we are getting like brush speed, you know, 2S brushed. There is a brushless version, I guess, if you would like to get a brushless version of this. You can see how this is about as fast as you want to go until it will flip. And then it will just flip over. Let's try a range test. Let's go all the way down the street here. So from my driveway, let's go all the way down to the end of the cul-de-sac. Full throttle. Oh, it's pulling a little to the left. I'll go all the way to the road. Yeah, still in full control, and I'm all the way down there. Come back at full throttle. Let's try a brake test right here. Full throttle, brakes. Oh, nice. Brakes really quick. Ooh. Full throttle over these rocks. Go. Oh. So it's holding up to the second battery of, I was doing the same thing on the first battery. That's still going strong, guys. Oh. Hung up on this little driveway. There we go. Full throttle. Yeah. Full throttle. Oh, there goes the tire. Okay, we lost the tire, folks. And let's see what the problem is. You know what happened is, it looks like maybe there's the spindle. That's the word I'm looking for. So it looks like the spindle's okay. It looks like where it connects to the yoke of the telescoping front drive shaft. It looks like this pin came out. Right there, there's a pinhole. So it actually doesn't look like anything broke except for that pin. Yep, everything's still there. So I'm just missing the pin, that's all I'm missing. So that actually could be an easy fix. Okay, so I can't find that little pin, but I think I did find kind of a weakness for this truck. And it is this plastic end yoke here of that little telescoping yoke. Swivel joint, U-joint, I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but that seems to be the weakness. It still do have the bearings in here, so really all I need to do, it looks like, is get one of these pins. It's the same pin that goes in the drive hub here to hold this end spindle in. So maybe if they would have made these, you know, cast cast iron or a little bit more durable, or maybe it was just an anomaly, like maybe this tire just got a little bit loose in there and it just had enough space. You can see how the plastic kind of stripped where this little pin was, and that's why the pin kind of fell out, just because it got out of its groove. But this just slides right back in here, and just need another, it looks like an end of that universal joint is probably what I'm trying to say. So it looks like I just need the end of this universal joint, which is probably just a couple $1 piece, and a new pin, and this thing is back in working order. And you know, that's kind of what you can expect for bashing that hard with any kind of vehicle like this. You're gonna have those little things happen, and I'd rather see it something tiny like that just costs a couple $, than something more major like differentials, or you know, whole axle stripping, or main A-arms breaking and stuff like that. Here's a good example of how good these bearings are, at least. When we have this front universal joint disconnected from the spindle here, and it's just riding on the bearings, check this out, how good this thing spins. So that's just from one spin. It seems like this thing could spin for a minute. Look at that, just purely riding on bearings. So at least they're using some good bearings. Speaking of other parts, let's just see if anything else has broken or gotten really damaged. It looks like the lower arms are all solid. No damage there. Bumper's doing its job. It's soaking up bumps. Again, just that one light came off from the other battery. No broken plastic on the roll cage. And I was rolling that thing and smashing into things pretty darn hard. No stripped gears aside from that weird strip when I brake really hard. Remember, maybe that's what this was. Maybe I was braking really hard and it was that thing kind of stripping out of its notch. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because when you do slam the brakes, the front is what takes the most force. So that's probably what happened. This thing was just clicking out and eventually just flew out. But all the drag links seem solid, you know, a little bit scuffed up, but everything held very well. The pumpkin, the axle, normal scuffing marks. Really a minor little breakage there. Just that little pin. Anyway guys, that's what it is. And that was the review for the Desert Eagle 7. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it's a pretty good little truck for somebody's. I think it's like an under $100 truck, and it's got full ball bearings, and it's a lithium ion. I don't think this is the brushless version, so this is still going to be the brushed version, but they do make a brushless version, and I hope they would beef up their universal drive shafts a little better. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that review, and I'll see you guys in the next running and bashing test. Thanks for watching.